Crosley, and welcome to Real World Pediatrics. So, today I want to talk about honesty. Well, they say that honesty is the best policy. That's what I believe. Even when you think it's going to hurt you, it's always better to be honest. Now, there are a lot of people out there, especially politicians, who believe that it's okay to sometimes lie. In fact, this is a big problem for our country that prides itself in believing that George Washington never told a lie. Now, I suppose that if you don't want to go to a party on a Saturday night, you could always say that you're not feeling well. That's a very harmless lie. And you can always conjure yourself into a state of being where it's not too far from the truth. But when you're talking about an application for a job or your capabilities, you're always better off telling the truth, even if it means you don't get the job. Now, there are harmful effects of lying, and there are too many to count. So I'm going to put a couple up on the screen there. Damage to relationships. Lying erodes trust, which is a cornerstone of healthy relationships. And when trust is broken, it can be difficult to repair, leading to distance and even the end of relationships. Stress and anxiety, guilt and shame, lowered self-esteem, cognitive load. Keeping track of lies and maintaining a false narrative can be cognitively draining, especially for frequent liars, and reduced empathy and loss of reputation. So just the other day, I was watching this program entitled, I Shouldn't Be Alive. Now, in this episode, which aired many years ago, there were two friends who went kayaking together near Seattle. One was an experienced kayaker and a guide, and the other one wasn't. But the inexperienced kayaker didn't tell the guide, his friend, that he had never been in a kayak before. Now, I don't know why he gave a false impression, and he didn't say. I'm guessing that he probably felt that if he told the guide that he was inexperienced and had never been in a kayak, that his friend wouldn't take him on the trip. So he lied, or at least he misrepresented himself. Well, as it turned out, the two kayakers ran into a storm and choppy seas. The inexperienced kayaker took on water and, to make a long story short, almost died. His friend, the guide, had to make the difficult decision to leave him out in the ocean in order to get help, because if he had stayed with his friend, both would die. The inexperienced kayaker was unhappy and miffed that his guide and buddy left him. He felt that buddies don't leave their buddies behind. And my answer to this, as I was watching the program, is this. Well, you don't lie to your buddy that you have experience when you don't. And as it turned out, his inexperience led to most of their problems. So it's always better to tell the truth. Now, you'd be surprised how telling the truth will score you points with the right person or the right employer. The right employer would much rather have a truthful person who's inexperienced than an inexperienced liar. Now, I was always a person who told the truth to a fault, and this did not serve me well in medical schools, in which liars and prevaricators often prevail. Now, every doctor, your doctor, can tell you about the ace BSers who BS their way through medical school and residency. To a man, they will tell you that if you state to a professor that you don't know something, that professor will grade you down. Now, of course, that's the wrong attitude to be taught in medical school, but unfortunately, it's encouraged all the time. Now, I was a slow learner when it came to lying and not telling the truth. And so I'm sure many professors thought I was stupid because I asked a lot of questions and I told them I didn't know things when I really did not know. But in the long run, it's always served me well to always tell the truth. Because now when my patients ask me a question about their medical condition and I don't know, I tell them right to their face, I don't know, but I'll look it up and I'll get back to you. And I do. Of course, there's always going to be a few patients who don't like that and who will leave my practice. But there are many, many who do respect that and stay. You're not weak when you admit that you don't know something. You're strong. All knowledge begins with admitting that you don't know. And to admit that you don't know is an important part of integrity and honesty. So my personal experience is taught me that it's always better to tell the truth. And hopefully I'll continue to doing that. Now, that's what I recommend for you and your child. Your child will go further in life by telling the truth, even though it may hurt him or her at times. Don't be like those people who never want to admit a mistake. If you make a mistake, just admit it. Be honest about it, and you'll be far better off in the long run. Now, there are some positive correlations between personal health and honesty. And here's what Google AI has to say. Read it for you. Yes, there is evidence suggesting that honest people tend to be happier. Honesty fosters a sense of integrity and authenticity, which can lead to improved self esteem and stronger relationships. While there may be instances where honesty has short term negative consequences, the long term benefits of honesty for mental and emotional well being are significant. And then here's a little detailed look on this. Put it up on the screen for you. Honesty can free individuals from the burden of deceit and falsehoods. You can have improved relationships, enhanced self-esteem, better conflict resolution, long-term happiness, and active engagement. Choosing honesty encourages active participation in the world rather than passively complaining about situations. Finally, let's sum it up by stating that happier people generally are more prosperous. Now, this is important because the media often equates um, people who are wealthy with crookedness. It's all over the movies. And sometimes we begin to think that the only way to get wealthy is to steal. Well, this evidence suggests otherwise. Honesty is the best policy.